Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop, and today we're asking a really big question. But before we get into this, I'm a little apprehensive about making this video, and I'll tell you why. Because anytime we start talking about dollar amounts, it really invites a lot of negative comments down in the comment section. I have a very strict zero tolerance policy down there. If you want to have a conversation, and you can disagree and have a polite conversation, but if you come down there and you start being all puffy chest and acting rude, I will ban you, or want somebody in my team will ban you. We have that zero tolerance policy. The comment section is for conversation. That said, today we're talking about whether a single 220 volt CNC machine has the earning potential to reach over $1 million a year. Now, I'm not going to leave you in suspense. It absolutely does. And today we're going to talk about that. I realize most folks don't come to my channel for CNC stuff. They come here for the other stuff, the jigs, the fixturing, the innovation. And we've got lots more of that coming. But I did want to take a minute and make a video for those folks who are interested in CNC. So the fact is, there's no perfect formula for making money with a CNC, or any other way for that matter. And if somebody tells you they have the perfect formula, they're lying to you or they're delusional. Like everything else in the world, you get out what you put into it. So if you want to work your butt off, you can do amazing things. The machine sitting behind me is a Phantom T-Series CNC. It takes a 220 volt 30 amp circuit to run the machine. Now, it's got a 16 horsepower spindle, a 5x10 bed, 8 place tool changers, and the servos and hardware on here are top of the line. Now, until just a few years ago, there was no way you're getting into a machine like this for under between $55,000 and $65,000. I paid $36,500 for this machine brand new. So before we go any further, I do want to say that I paid for this machine. This wasn't a gift. This isn't a sponsored video. My machine, my hard-earned dollars, and this machine has been earning me money ever since it hit the floor. I realize $36,500 sounds like a lot of money, but compared to $55,000, it's a lot more accessible, making it a lot more reasonable for DIYers and small shop guys to get into the CNC game. If you are thinking about getting into the CNC game, I highly suggest you go check out Phantom CNCs. They have production capable machines starting at under $10,000 and go up to even machines bigger than this. There's a lot of folks that buy CNCs for their own use, to enhance their woodworking or just to have some fun with or help them prototype whatever they do. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about that pot of gold at the end of the CNC rainbow. In my mind, it makes the most sense to talk about 5 of the top reasons why people buy CNC machines, or what their thought processes are, and the earning potential of those 5 things. Slab flattening. This is one of those things that people often think about when buying a CNC machine. With the popularity of live edge slabs out there, and flattening slabs can be a real pain in the butt, CNCs make it a breeze. So this is one of those top reasons why people think about buying a CNC machine. The earning potential of a CNC machine when it comes to slab flattening depends a lot upon its size and its ability to do things quickly. Now, this is one of those tricky numbers things, but out in the world you can expect to pay about $125 to about $175 an hour for a slab flattening service on a CNC machine. Obviously, the bigger the machine, the faster it goes, the more you can charge, because you can get done more in a quicker amount of time, therefore increasing your earning potential. All right, so let's say a company has a decent sized machine and they can charge $175 an hour. Now, I want to be careful about that. The cost of flattening a slab is going to be different depending on the area you're in and the competition of other machines and a whole lot of variable factors. But in my area, $125 to $175. So we're going to say we have a big machine and we can do $175 an hour, and we manage to book out for 8 hours a day. Now, this is unrealistic, but I want to talk about potential earning. So if we are booked out at $175 an hour for 8 hours a day, that's $1,400 a day. And you times that times 5, that's $7,000. And if you're really crazy good and you're booked out all week long, that's about $360,000 plus some change. That's not even close to $1 million. But it's not bad either. No material cost, just a bit cost of the machine cost. So your profit is really close to that margin. It's not a terrible way to make a living. Another reason, and I find this to be a very common reason that people want to get into CNC, is for 3D carving. Because CNCs with Aspire are very capable of doing 3-dimensional carvings. But if you want to make money with the CNC, I suggest you shy away from carving, unless you're talking about signs. But even then, you're mostly 2.5D and not real 3D. So let's talk about 3D carving for a minute. If you're staying really busy and you're really good at it and you can design files fast, you might be able to earn $1,000 to $1,400 a day, maybe. So already we're well underneath what you could make just flattening slabs. Carvings take a really long time on a machine, so they eat up a ton of runtime, and you can't charge for them like you could charge for slab flattening. You can't charge $175 an hour for a little tiny, 3D carved plaque you're going to put on the wall. So if you are interested in getting into CNC and you're thinking you're going to make a ton of money with 3D carving, stop right there in your tracks. It just isn't going to happen. Now there may be a couple of exceptions to the rule out there, but as a whole, 3D carving with a CNC machine is for fun. Now, after poo-pooing 3D carving, we're going to talk about signs. There is really good money in signs. In my area, a very inexpensive sign will cost you about $80 a square foot, so 12 inches by 12 inches. And that's like as cheap as they get. More typically, you're going to see a sign sell for somewhere in the neighborhood of $180 to $225 a square foot, and that could be across the board between wood and acrylic and all the other formats that you can make signs out of. So when you're thinking about CNC, I highly encourage you to think about signage. I know a lot of folks that just bought a CNC machine, got a good relationship with a sign company, and all they do is their CNC work for that particular sign company and make a very healthy living just out back of the house running a CNC machine. So best case scenario, I can tell you about one individual that I know who's making just shy of about $500,000 a year doing nothing but making signs for a sign company with his machine. You get out what you put into it. So if you're out there marketing, you're out there pushing, you're out there finding those deals, you can make a lot more money with your CNC machine than if you're just sitting in the garage drinking coffee waiting for jobs to come to you. The next thing we're going to discuss is making kitchen cabinets. A machine like this can cut out 3 or 4 kitchens a day, average size kitchens a day. Now, that leads to a whole other slew of things. That's infrastructure, employees that can put them all together, that's installation, that's a lot of work. But it can. Now, again, best case scenario that I know of, and these are just people that I know, so I'm sure there's people doing better and far worse, but I have a friend in James Island here in South Carolina who runs a single machine, has a crew of 5 people, and they average about $1.2 million in revenue a year. That's not too shabby. So again, I want to make it very clear that we're talking about people that I'm aware of and what they're doing and the potential earning income of a machine in different scenarios. I don't have all the answers, and I don't pretend to have all the answers. I just want to make it very clear to folks that there is some serious earning potential behind this machine and a little bit of hard work and marketing. So which leads us to our 5th and final thing, and what I think is the holy grail of CNC world, and that's manufacturing parts. I know that's not very exciting, but it is one of those high yield or high earning things that you can do with the CNC machine. So there's a lot of reason you see people online like myself, like April Wilkerson, like Katz Moses, selling products that we've designed or that other people in our community have designed. There's money to be made in that, but hear me out on this. It's not just as easy as setting up a CNC machine and cutting out some parts. There's a lot of legs to that kind of work. First of all, you have to have insurances. You need to have a team behind you to help you get all that work done. There's shipping, there's fulfillment, there's procurement, there's a lot of logistics to making all that happen. So it's not magic. The CNC just doesn't do some work and money magically appears. Now there's another side of manufacturing with your CNC that does not require all those logistics and all those parts to be in place. And that's working directly for somebody who needs parts, like somebody who manufactures a tool or some item. And those jobs are out there, and they're getting to be more and more available because of the way the world economy is and because of shipping issues coming from overseas where these parts might normally come from. So there's never been a time that's been more ready for more folks to be in the CNC business. The work is out there, the work is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and there's a lot of money to be made in that fulfillment side of manufacturing. So let's talk about that for a second. We have a sheet of material that costs $400. We cut 200 parts out of it, and we're able to sell each of those parts for $6. We're just going to say $6. All right, so that's about $1,200 minus the $400 material cost. There's some bit and machine cost in there too, but for argument's sakes, we're just going to say $800. Now we can run one of those sheets every hour and a half. Actually, we can do it a little bit faster than that, but again, argument's sake, an hour and a half. So let's say we do 5 sheets a day. 800 times 5 is $4,000. Now, obviously, we don't do that every single day of the week, and I absolutely would if we could. But $4,000 times 5 is 20,000 times 52 weeks in a year. You see where I'm getting with this. It has a lot of earning potential. Again, the machine isn't going to sell itself. I'll say it again. You get out what you put into it, just like everything else in life. Now, obviously, we don't do that every day, all day long. Sometimes the money's a little better, sometimes it's not as good, and we don't run the machine 24 hours a day. It just doesn't happen. Now, we're getting closer and closer to the mark where we can keep this machine burning 8 to 10 hours a day, and those earning potentials keep going up. We pick and choose our clients now, and those kind of things make a huge difference when you're trying to get to that next level, or when you're trying to find that little pot of gold at the end of the CNC rainbow. Now, obviously, this isn't for everybody, and I don't expect it to be, and I'm not trying to talk you into a CNC machine. I'm just trying to open your eyes a little bit to the world of CNC and the earning potential that's behind it. Now, there's a lot of use case scenarios, and there's a lot of variables to this, way more than we could possibly go over in just a 10 or 15 minute video. A lot. So I would invite anybody who's interested, hit that comment section, ask questions. I'll sit and hang out in the comment section for quite a while after this video posts, answer them to the best of my ability, and, you know, be part of the conversation. Love to see you guys down there. Love to talk about this. And I absolutely appreciate you guys for putting up with this video from me. Promise we're not going to do a whole lot of content like this. But I wanted to throw it out there, especially in the current climate of everything in the world. The potential for earning a good income on a machine like this is getting higher and higher and higher, especially with the way things are going around. So bringing manufacturing back, at least at a small level, to US soil can earn a lot of income. And it's just really cool. Really, really cool. Everybody, I really appreciate you watching today's video, and we'll see you in the next one.